Welcome to another episode of the Bear Trap, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and apparently the Chicago Bears have traded Jordan Howard. So, I've been, at work and then class all day. I come home, sit down, ready to just chill, and what do I see? Jordan Howard was traded. Yeah, I'm not sure how this didn't pop up in any conversations today, but yeah, I just found out. So I'm not too happy about it. Jordan Howard was traded for a 6th round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles, with a potential of it becoming a 5th round pick. And if I believe it's right, that's the 2020 draft. So that's not even this year. So, I don't think I really talked about it on this channel, but I talked in person and with a lot of people and had a lot of heated debates about the, Antonio Brown trade and OBJ trade. And those are a little different because OBJ's kind of in his prime. But as far as Antonio Brown, I try to tell people, like, especially around this time of the year, a lot of these trades, even for people that were big names, they aren't for a lot. A lot of times it's always like a 4th round pick or a 6th round pick or something small. And so when Antonio Brown got traded for that little amount, I was like, honestly, that's a lot more than you usually get. Now, yeah, he's a top 3 receiver, but his age and all that considered. But you always see stars and people that are clearly like at the peak about to go down get traded for what you would think is really small compensation. So looking at this, I mean, it's hard to, you're at a position that's not super valuable. You're going into the last year of your contract, so you don't have a lot of security leverage. And then he wasn't coming off the best year, but he was still a guy that in his rookie year was top 2 in rushing. And so it's tough. It's definitely tough. I just think the 6th round pick is way too low. And so these type of trades I look at and would say, well, that you're lucky you got something for him. In a case like a Le'Veon Bell that was like, you know what, or I want this contract, I'm not playing, and then had to call the bluff for the organization. And Antonio Brown, where it's like, yo, I want to play for y'all. Eli Manning that didn't want to play for Chargers. The list goes on. Where those situations where it's like, yo, you just happy you got something for them. And so people could look at it that way, but I just don't think that's the case because Tariq Cohen, as good as he is at what he does, he isn't the viable alternative to Jordan Howard. And so it's not like we had 2 all-star running backs or Pro Bowl running backs. Yes, Cohen's a Pro Bowl returner, but we know there's areas as a running back that he is lacking. And so it is much more of a 1-2 punch. It'd be different if we had 2 bell cows competing for the same spot, but we don't. And so he's on the last year of his contract. He's on a rookie deal. The money still isn't big yet. So yes, you might have to eventually pay him, but it's not like you pay him a whole lot this year to be on the roster, even if you want to wait to trade him into midway through the season. And, he hasn't been an issue, as far as a player in the locker room or anything. So I just don't see this as a situation where, we got to get rid of him right now just so we can make sure we get something in return. Because I think, yes, the landscape of running backs is very vast, so you can always replace him, but I still think he's one of the better options if we were to talk about. Now, it depends on how much money he would be asking for, of course, but I think at a reasonable rate, Jordan Howard's a good pick to be a running back. And so, I don't know, man. I don't see the necessity of this trade. And so I think about Jordan Howard and, again, a guy that we know could be a top 3 rusher. But at a position that is so devalued, it makes it hard. I still have to think you could have got better compensation. Even if you did a sign and trade where you signed him to a more long-term deal, and then traded him. And so I don't know. I guess with running backs, the easy answer is just to be like, hey, yeah, you could get those things anywhere. Just don't matter. Don't bother with it, Jordan Howard. Just let him go and look for the next one in the upcoming draft. And I can't argue with that. But I really don't like the compensation, to be honest. And I know he's a low round pick, but yeah, I kind of refuted my own point. Being a higher round pick does give you more value because you got more potential depending on when you were drafted. So him being a low round pick doesn't help as much, but I still gotta believe there was a better deal out there. And if there wasn't a better deal than the 6th round pick, I think the better option was to keep him on the roster. I'm not sure why they decided to get rid of him right now, unless they know for a fact there's 2 or 3 running backs in this draft that they have their eye on. I mean, I know he signed Mike Davis, but really what has he been? So I gotta believe they have comfortably a number of backs on their list that they want to target in the draft. So yeah, interesting. Sad to see him go. Jay Howard was, I think not just a good player, but a good Bear as term of his love for the city, his, attitude as a person and a teammate, did really good things for us. And, yeah, it's kind of sad to see him go. I'm slightly against the Bears on this, but I'm not like crazy angry against them. And I'm not crazy for we needed to have Jordan Howard. I'm just slightly like, yeah, this was not the best move, but I don't think it was stupid or anything. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of middle, but I wonder what everybody else think. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Jordan Howard traded to the Eagles for a 6th round pick, possibly a 5th round pick in next year's draft. Do you think it was a good trade? Do you think it was good compensation? Or did you just want us to keep Jordan Howard? Go to the comment section. Let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, share it around, get the convo started. And remember, stay up and bear down.